Guess what? I'm live. I'm live on both of all the fronts. I thought I adjusted my camera, but I didn't. Okay. So it's good right here. Just gonna move back a little. I think that's good. I'm so tilted. There you go. I'm just gonna move my setup back. Okay, I think that's good. How's that lighting? You guys are like my helpers. Y'all are my helpers. Okay. Awesome, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna come on over. Good evening, everyone. Just gonna have a seat right here. And I still have my socks on because I am in the Midwest and it's not that cold, but it's about to get cold here in the next like 7 days. It's supposed to be low. I don't know, it's at 11 on one of those days. Winter is coming and the solstice is the 21st, which is next week. So, y'all, the weather is changing. So, make sure you're taking care of yourself. The weather is changing. Make sure you take care of yourself. That's like a note to all of us. So, good evening. Thank you for joining. My name's Allison. I'm with Sunflower Collective Yoga. We're going to be doing a rocket yoga class this evening. So we have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays and at 6 p.m. CST. And I can translate all the time zones. So if you know someone else that wants to join class, let me know. I would like to know in the future, like different times, because I would like to adjust to those who are joining in and they want to continue practicing with me, letting me guide you through practice. I like feedback and I like knowing if something works or doesn't work. I'm here for you. I hope things expand and change down the road. So, my setup could change and I could have someone here doing yoga while I guide them and whatnot, and changing platforms to be able to see people and, in the future have a studio. So you know how things just go. Anyway, so I'm going to have you all, we're going to go ahead and get started. So have a seat. You can have a seat, cross your legs. We're just going to do a little warm up. So they can be nice and gentle. Right leg can just kind of draped in front, or the left leg draped in front, whichever one is comfortable. Put the tops of your hands on top of your knees. Just relax your shoulders. We're going to do a couple breaths. We're going to set our intention. Our focus is on the practice. Rocket 1 is what we're doing. Every practice is a new practice, or just showing up. You're showing up to your practice every day. So I want to invite you right now to set an intention, something for yourself, for your practice, for your day, anything that you feel is the intention for your practice and maybe for the rest of your week. So we're going to keep breathing. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Breathe in, release. Breathe in through your nose, hold, release through your nose. Again, breathe in through your nose, release out of your nose. And I'm going to let you a couple more breaths on your own. Getting into your rhythm, your breath helps you move through those postures. So when you're doing those poses that might be difficult now, but down the line through your practice get easier, the breath is always the consistent and is what is helpful. So keep breathing. You'll always hear me cue you to keep breathing. Because if I was in the room with you, you would hear my breath, and if I didn't hear your breath, then I would just start breathing louder. And one last breath in. And release that out. Nice. And come onto all fours. Let's do a little child's pose. I'm just letting y'all warm up just for a second. We're going to do a child's pose. So come on back. Your hips between over your feet. Arms long, pressing into the ground. Your forehead can be touching the ground, or you can be looking forward with your eyes. 2 breaths right here. One more. And come onto all fours. And we're going to press back into downward facing dog. So we're in down dog right here. You can pedal it out. You can stand still. You can move side to side. A little bit of movement right here. Whatever feels good. Make sure those hands are pressed into the ground. Hands are wide. Come to stillness. Nice. All right, bend your knees. Step forward. And come all the way up to the top. Nice. Hands back to heart center. We're going to start out with our sun salutation. So we're going to start out with sun A. All right, sun A. Top of the mat. Arms up. So lift those arms all the way up. Look up to the ceiling. And when you're in this pose, you can always give yourself a nice little bend back. So take your chin and look back. You don't have to do this if you feel this feels good to you. And you're not going to fall over because, you know, there's our spots where your equilibrium will go off because that is a nice pressure point when you're leaning back, the oxygen and everything, and blood flow. Not a doctor. Anyway, so if you're doing that, you don't need to do that. So if it feels good to you and you're more advanced, then keep moving. Just slowly start incorporating it if it is something you're interested in. So we lean back and then fold forward. Come up halfway and step back. Vinyasa. So you can bring your knees down and then knees, chest, chin. Come up to cobra and downward facing dog. And when you're in your down dog, again, you can be in stillness. You can move your legs around. Maybe we're going to do 3 of these. You alternate your leg in the air. You could move your leg back into that twist right there. All during that breath. So you can be stillness or choose one. We're going to bend our knees and step forward. Come up halfway. Fold. And rise all the way on up to the top. Bring those arms all the way up. Hands to heart center. Beautiful. I'm going to keep flowing. So take modifications. I'll do some more. Sometimes I'll do a different pose. Take the modified one. If you feel you're more advanced, take like a jump back, or even if I cued someone to do if I cued you to do a different pose that you either feel you do or don't know, just comment, let me know, and I can always talk about it with you and let you know, like, we can talk about it. Hands to heart center, hands up, and fold. Up halfway, fold, vinyasa, step back, knees, chest, chin, upward facing down dog, and this is upward dog. Upward dog, your knees are off the ground, and downward facing dog. 5 breaths. One more breath. Bend your knees. Step to the top of the mat. Come up halfway. Fold. Rise on the way up to the top. Hands together and hands at heart center. Beautiful. Arms up. Fold. Halfway lift. Vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. One more breath. Bend your knees. Step forward. Come up halfway. Fold. Rise all the way on up to the top. Hands to heart center. Beautiful. Now we're going to do Sun B. Sun Salutation B. Arms go up. Chair. So you're going to sit back. It's like you're sitting in a chair. Your feet can be close together, or your toes, your big toes are touching. You want to turn your hips down. It's like you're popping them down. It's like a key. Arms straight out. Not your shoulders are not by your ears. They're down some. Fingers pointed out. Breathe. Fold. Fold on down. Come up halfway. And vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Warrior 1. Bring that right leg forward. Left leg is back. Knee forward, arms up. Hips should be facing forward. They're like headlights, facing forward. Arms up. Breathe. And vinyasa. So hands come down Step that right foot back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Warrior one. Remember, hips forward, arms up. And vinyasa, hands down. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths right here. So again, you can take one of those poses that I said earlier. You can just be in total stillness. 5 breaths. If you want to bring your elbow down to forearms, you can do that as well. If you don't know what I'm saying, it's all right. Keep breathing. Like I said, the breath is the consistent. You can put some bend in your knees when you're in this position too. You don't have to lock out your knees. One more breath. Bend your knees. Step forward. Come up halfway. Fold. Chair pose. And fold. Come up halfway. And vinyasa. Step back. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right leg forward. Warrior one. Arms up and vinyasa. Hands down. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Arms up. And hands down, vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths right here. So remember, right here when you're doing those 5 breaths, you can be in, you can be on your forearms in dolphin pose. 1 leg up. Whatnot. 5 breaths. And bend your knees. Step forward. Come up halfway. Fold. Rise into chair. Look up and fold. Last sun beat. Up halfway. And vinyasa. Step back. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Warrior one on the right side. Bring that right leg forward, left leg back. Arms up. Vinyasa. Bring those hands down. Flow through. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step that left foot forward. Arms up. Warrior one. And vinyasa. That leg back. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths right here. This is when sometimes you can get into your mind. You're like, am I doing good enough? Did I do that pose good enough? You showing up is good enough. Remember that always. Showing up is good enough. Please always remember that. Not everyone shows up for themselves. We want everyone to show up for themselves, though. And come back to stillness. Bend your knees. Step or hop forward. Come up halfway. Fold. And rise on up into chair. And stand all the way on up. And right here, we're going to get a little stretch right there. So you can put your hands together. Chin is looking up. Halfway. And come up straight. Beautiful. Just give you a couple seconds to wiggle those arms on out. Beautiful. Grab some water if you need to drink some water. All right, we're going to come to the top of the mat. We're going to we're going to do some crescent lunges. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do a vinyasa. So at the top of the mat, arms go up and fold. Come up halfway and fold. And then rise all the way back on up again. We're not going all the way through. I giggled on that one. Arms up, back a little more. Arms to heart center. And again, let's go into chair. So bring those arms up. Chair. Then we're going to do half chair. So half chair, we take our hands, we intertwine them, we push out. Your arms are kind of by your ears. You're pushing out on your arms. Your bum is pushing out the other way. This is half chair. And next we're going to call crow pose. So you can do crow pose or you can do a wide squat. So this is the wide squat. It's like this. And you can bring your legs out even wider. You want to work on getting your heels on the ground. You want your back to be up kind of straight. My heels do not touch the ground. Crow pose. So you can do your squat or you can practice crow pose. And I just want you to know I'm not the most amazing crow person. But you know what? We always try. And I know it's something I've been working on. I've been doing yoga for a while. And you just get to a point where you have to work on the things that you don't want to do. Period. So crow pose. You're getting your knees up past your elbow. It's like they're floating. So you can do your squat or crow. I fell for you, so even right there, if you're falling in the pose, that means you're doing it right. And after you do your squat or crow pose, vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, crescent lunge. So we're going to bring that right leg forward. Crescent lunge. So we're up on the left foot, so you're on your toes. This is crescent lunge. And then your arms are going up. And then we're going to turn to warrior two. From warrior two, we're going to go into triangle. So your knee was bent. You're going to make it straight. So straighten that out. This is triangle. Now, depending on your calves and whatnot, it could feel good or not feel good. So I say to honor your body and bring this in more. And as you move through your practice, you'll be able to move it out more and through being more comfortable with that. But you don't want to injure yourself, pull anything, doing poses. So maybe you have to be right here. And maybe you have, I didn't call for y'all to have a block, but if you have a block, you can put your block right there And that is another way to help you into this pose. So you should never injure yourself in class. Maybe you don't have a block. If you have a book or something, that you can put that in that place. So we're going to do triangle. A couple breaths right here. Reverse triangle. So take that left hand and we're going to reverse. So it can be wider. That might be kind of hard, especially if you have or haven't been doing yoga, but give yourself grace. You can bend that knee. And then we'll follow triangle. That's what we did. Okay, and then come up to side angle. So we're going to come up out of that. You guys are doing amazing. Side angle. So we're on this knee. Our elbow is right here. Side angle. So it's like your knees right there. Pull that arm that's over your ear. It's like you're trying to reach something. I do a lot of postures. If you watch me, I do it unconsciously, but I've been told it's just like a sign of like my intention is it's like higher than what I even realize, but it's something natural. And it's just through your practice and how attached or not attached with the feelings you have, I guess. So we're still on the side angle. We're going to take this left hand down and do a revolve. So your left hand's down, your left foot, you come up on the heel or on your toes. This right hand comes up. Yes, a nice little stretch. All right, and then we're going to bring that arm down and right here. So you can do, you can bring that leg down, the left leg, and your arms up, so your hands are right here. You can come all the way down, hands are right here. You can move out of those two, and you can do dolphin pose. That's a dolphin. Dolphin pose. Couple breaths right here. Nice. And now we're going to do 5 tuck jumps. So you guys are like, what is a tuck jump? So you might get a little air, you might not get it. Just jumping and jumping outside of your comfort zone is the best part of this. So we're going to put our hands down. It's like we're just practicing warming up. We're not warming up, but tuck jumps are something that's also used. So if if I had even more balance, I would be able to, when you do the tuck jump, I'd be able to balance on my hands and my posture would be turned up more and I would be floating. So this is the beginning levels to working on getting to that posture. It's a movement we do. Okay, so 5. And you know what, you might just be like this the whole time. 5, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And downward facing dog and vinyasa. Go ahead and vinyasa. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let's step that left leg forward. It's a crescent lunge. So we're up onto the ball of the right foot. Arms up. And warrior 2. Nice. Make sure their shoulders down, arms out, fingers point to the wall. Triangle. Remember, you can bring that back leg in some. Triangle. There we go. And then we do, I'm facing the wrong way. Then we do revolved triangles. So your arm, remember, it can come down. If you have a book or something, you can bend your knee, bring that back leg in some. It feels awkward, but that's movement. Breathe right there. And then release. Come on down. You can bring your knee down. You can bring your forearms down. You can do dolphin. You can do any of those poses at this point right here. Hopefully you can see me in the right angle. Nice. And when you finish with that, we're going to do you can come into downward facing dog. Do your 5 tuck jumps. 5 tuck jumps. We're doing 5 more. And I'm going to do them with you. And go. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ooh, I feel like I got a little hang time right there. Nice. And vinyasa. And when you get to your down dog, go on into child's pose. So come on down. Couple breaths right here. Take a couple breaths right there in child's pose. Y'all are doing great. Just stay focused on your breath. Like I said earlier, showing up is the number one thing you can do for yourself. Showing up is the hardest part. Showing up is the hardest part. All right, and next we're going to come into we're going to come to standing at the top of our mat. So we're going to stand at the top of the mat. We're going to do some poses. We're going to do gorilla pose. So you're going to take your hands. You're going to bend forward. You're going to take your hands. You're going to grab your toes to start off with. So your fingers, your 2 peace fingers, take your peace fingers and put them between put them between your big toe. So you're wrapping your big toe. And then you make sure to push your big toes into the ground with your fingers grabbing them. You'll get a nice stretch. Push your foot to the ground. You can bend your knees. And then you want to pull with your hands. And it's like your elbows are going out. And release. And then we're going to do gorilla pose underneath. So you're going to take your hands and they're going to go underneath your feet. So like this. See that? My hand is underneath my foot and then it's going to go down. So I'm on both of them. And depending how flexible you are and how comfortable this feels, you would want to get your up to your elbow, almost up to your elbow. Your toes should be like up to your elbow. I'm about to fall. So, yeah. Again, like I said, depending how flexible you are. And that comes through time. So, a couple more breaths right there. And bring those hands out, release. All right, we're going to step to the long side of the mat. We're going to do some stretching. So we're going to do a forward fold, and we're going to start with so it looks forward, series A. We're going to do our first fold, which is A. This is fold A. So we're going to put our hands on our waist, and we're just going to, you're going to have a nice like straddle, just like open, whatever's comfortable, however far you can go. You're going to bend forward. And bend forward as far as you can go. Hands can go down on the ground. Maybe your hands can go back some more. Maybe in this pose also you're very comfortable and you can go up into like a headstand. I'm just going to call it if you want to go into it. If you don't and you don't even know what I'm saying, you don't know what I'm saying because I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyway, get a nice stretch right here. I will demonstrate going into headstand in this pose. Keep breathing. If you do, your arms go back and you can just float up into that. But this, if it's in your practice, you do this, you know. It'll come with time. Keep breathing. And then we're going to come on back up halfway. Hands on hip, up halfway, all the way on up. Hands up, beautiful. Your legs, you can bring them in some more, just a little. Next, we're going to do, you take your hands and you can either put them like this behind your back, or you can do your hands are together like this, a little prayer pose. And when you're in this position, your hands, the inside should be touching themselves and they should be touching your back. So it shouldn't be like all lifted up. It should all be touching your back. So maybe like grabbing opposite elbows is actually what might feel better. But it depends how open you are. So we're in our wide leg and we're in our B pose and fold forward. One more. And rise on up. Nice. And then the last one is our arms are out. Look at this. So we're just grasping the back of our hands and we're going to bend over in our pose. So ready and go right on over. And the palms of the hands should be touching each other. They shouldn't be like this. They should be touching each other. And come up halfway and all the way up. Nice release. You can wiggle out a little right there. Get a nice little wiggle in. Next, we're going to do our let's have a seat. So we're going to come on down to the ground. We're going to sit. Our legs are going to go out the long way. So you're the long way on the mat, like me. So we're going to do some movements down here. Let's do our Mula Bandha checkup. So you guys are like, what is a Mula Bandha? Mula Bandha checkup. So we're going to take our hands and we're going to do some push-ups. we're going to help push ourselves up. So you're going to take your left hand and then your right hand. They go on either side of your thigh. So one on the inside and one on the outside. And when I say go, at your foot, you're basically pushing up on the right side. And we're going to do the other side. So we'll do both sides twice. So your foot, it can be pointed or you can flex it. So you can kind of lift it off the ground, because in the Muli Bandha checkup, in reality, your right side comes up, and when you're really strong, your left side comes up, like your whole body is in the air. So that's where this pose leads to. But we all start somewhere. So your foot can be flexed or it can be pointed. Anyway, hands framing out that thigh, and we're just going to bend into our knee and push up. Release. My foot didn't come off the ground. But don't worry, we're practicing every day. Switch sides. Arm, frame out that thigh. Put it down and bend into that leg and push. And release. Nice. And we're going to come back over to the right side. We're going to do it again. So frame that leg and push into it and push. Release. Over to your left side. So, and bend into it and push. And release. Nice. And you can just bring those legs together. Do a nice little movement, kind of massaging it out. Nice. Keep doing that. So then we're going to come down on our stomach. We're going to come into cobra pose. So your forearms are on the ground. Chin is pointing up. Cobra, nice. So we can grab our first pose. You can grab one leg right here. So your hand is just pushing it down. You're just getting a nice little stretch right here. Maybe your hand is in the position that I can turn around. So your fingers are hanging over. I can only do this on one side. It's that joint. It's like you can, you have the mobility to turn in those hands. And just release that. Be careful with your foot. And grab your other foot. And release. And go back into child's pose. Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Nice. Again, we're going to come on. Let's come on to we're going to start closing down for our some last calming poses. So just have a seat. We're going to take our legs. You're going to take our right leg long and our left leg tucked in. It's like a little L. Your leg is an L at this point. So we're going to take our arms up and we're going to bend over. So both hands can try to touch your feet, or your hands can go wherever on the leg feels comfortable. And breathe. Release. We're going to go to the left side. Tuck that right leg in. Hands up. Go to the feet. And release. Next, we're gonna lay on our back and we're gonna take our feet together. So we're like in a little diamond shape with our feet, Baddha Konasana. So you're just, and you can put one hand on your heart and one hand on your stomach. And just breathe right here. Nice. One more. Bring your legs on up. We're going to do bridge. And I'll even call wheel. So if you want to wheel, wheel is very energizing. So maybe you want to be energized this evening, or maybe you want a nice pop. So you decide to do wheel. So I'll show both. We're going to do 3 of these. So bridge pose. You can bring your hands. Hands can touch your heels. So it's like the tip of your fingers are touching your heels. And you just come on up into a bridge pose. This is bridge pose. And the more comfortable you are, you can roll your shoulders underneath more so you get more of an arch and it's more tighter and tucked in. You can bring your legs in, your heels in more. And release. We're going to do 2 more of these and I'll call wheel as well. So you can come on up into bridge. Or if you'd like to go into wheel, you put your hands by your head and just push on up. Couple breaths here. And release, come on down. One more. Bridge or wheel, whatever feels comfortable for you. And go on up. And release. Beautiful. And let's do a little legs up the wall. So we're going to do waterfall. So your legs can go up like this. You can put your hands in a diamond shape under your bum. That'll help like give you a little like oomph and stability. Couple breaths right here. Nice. And you're in that pose. You can bring those legs down. We're going to do a twist. So right leg long. We're going to take our left leg up. And then we're going to roll it across our body. So we're going to get a nice little stretch. Ooh, my back pop. Your right hand is on top of your left knee. Left hand is pointing the opposite direction. Feel that nice stretch. Maybe just like inch your hand a little. You can feel that stretch just a little bit more. Get just a little more stretch in there. Or you want to bring that other knee up. Awesome. And release that back down. And let's bring our right leg in. Nice. And just pull it across your body. Right hand into the ground, left hand on top of your knee. Your head's looking the opposite direction, or whatever direction. Nice. And release. I'm going to give you a couple of, just a couple seconds, minutes, just to, any last movement that you would like to do in the practice, go right ahead. This is a couple minutes for you to wind down and do anything that you still want to do in this practice this evening. And as you come back to your calming position, could just be on your back. We're just going to come into Shavasana. So maybe you want to do your legs up the wall or just lay on your back, Shavasana. So just go ahead and get in that position. A couple of breaths right here. Maybe you just want to sit. You want to sit cross-legged. Whatever feels comfortable. Shavasana. So you can start wiggling your fingers and just slowly start coming back. Roll onto whatever side it feels comfortable. And then push yourself on up into a seated position. And we're going to take our hands just to a heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. Please join me every Tuesday, Thursday. I feel your energy. Every day is a new day. Walking, our focus is great. Remember, just stay present in your craft and follow your heart. You know yourself best. Your intuition is always correct. Thank you so much for joining me. Ashe, have a great evening. Please, if you have any comments, let me know. You can always, I'll have in the description box my Instagram handle and my email. So if you'd like to send me a message, please do. Please join me again. Subscribe. Please like this stream. And yeah, give me any feedback. All feedback is good feedback. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.